Hey everybody, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is right whales are coming back into the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The bad news is they're getting struck by ships and 10 of them have already died. We're going to talk about right whales on this episode of One Take Ocean News Update. There are less than 400 individuals of right whales in the Northwest Atlantic. They are highly endangered. Researchers and conservationists and governments are making every effort possible to protect these beautiful animals. Their major problem is they get struck by ships, and we don't really know why. There's an article in Hakai magazine that stated that sometimes whales don't really understand what's around them, what's surrounding them. They may hear a ship noise, but they don't know enough to move out of the way, so they get struck by ships, oftentimes leaving them maimed or leaving them injured. It can lead to infections and they could eventually die. And that's what's happening in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Right whales are back in the Gulf of St. Lawrence and they haven't been there for a long time. So it's a great news story that they're coming back in. We don't really know why. Most likely because of food, or there's the temperature's right, or who knows why. But as they come in, they're getting struck by ships. And 10 of them have died in the past 2 months. That's a really high amount, especially when there's only less than 400 individuals on the planet. So we need to do something about it. But what are researchers doing? What are governments doing out there? I spoke with Lynn Morissette on the podcast a couple of weeks back. She's a marine mammal researcher. She's a professor junk professor over in Norway. She's been on our podcast a number of times. She's a friend of the podcast. She's great. She's a really good marine scientist. In our discussion, we talked about how we need to find out where these animals go. Where are their popular migration routes into the Gulf of St. Lawrence? Where are they heading? Are they feeding on a specific area? There's a lot of research that can be done through aerial surveys, meaning you're in a plane and you fly over these animals and you find out where they go, where they occur. Because most likely, if they're aggregating in an area, there's a reason. Either it's food, who knows what it is. The point is we need to make sure that we find out where these animals are going in the St. Lawrence, how they're getting there, what their migration route is, and map them. We need to find out if there are specific areas that they like to be in. And if there are there shipping lanes that are going right through those areas? Or are there shipping lanes going into the areas where they're migrating through? That is the key. In the Northeast US, there are strict shipping lanes, that allow these ships to go through. These shipping lanes are often tied to where right whales do not occur, on purpose, to avoid shipping strikes. We need to do the same thing in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. We need to make sure that we map out where these animals go, make sure we try and figure out why they're there, and then figure out why these shipping lanes are in the way and how we can move them to make both people happy. I'm not trying to down the shipping industry. I don't think they mean to strike whales, but we need to work with the shipping industry. We need to work with the environmental and conservation industry and really work together to make sure that both parties are happy. Anyway, that's your ocean news update for today. Don't forget to subscribe down below and let me know what you think. Do you think that we should reroute shipping lanes, or do you think it's just let these animals move on their own if they can? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And as for now, you've been updated. I'm Andrew Lewin. Happy conservation.